The sun rises over the quiet suburban streets, casting a warm glow on neatly trimmed lawns and freshly painted mailboxes. It's a Saturday morning in 1955, and the aroma of sizzling bacon fills the air as the Johnson family begins their day. For many of us, these scenes are more than just memories. They're the foundation of our lives, the backdrop to our most cherished moments. As we journey back to the 1950s, we'll explore the everyday lives that shaped a generation. From the excitement of the local drive-in movie theaters to the communal spirit of neighborhood block parties, each story captures the essence of a time when life moved at a different pace. Picture children riding their bicycles down tree-lined streets, neighbors greeting each other with friendly waves, and families gathering around the radio for the latest news and entertainment. But it wasn't all picture perfect. The 1950s were also a time of significant change and challenges. The post-war era brought economic growth, yet it also highlighted the disparities and social shifts that would set the stage for future movements. We'll delve into the resilience of communities facing these transitions, showcasing how they navigated uncertainties while holding on to the values that defined them. In this series, we'll hear from those who lived through these decades, sharing their personal anecdotes and reflections. They'll take us to the bustling diners where jukeboxes played the hits of the day, the schools where friendships were forged, and the homes where dreams were nurtured. Through their eyes, we'll relive the joys and struggles, the simple pleasures and profound moments that make the 1950s a timeless chapter in our collective history. Join us as we embark on this nostalgic journey, celebrating the stories that remind us of where we come from and the enduring spirit that continues to inspire us today. As the day unfolds, we delve into the heart of the 1950s economy, a period marked by prosperity and innovation. The post-war boom led to unprecedented consumerism, with families eager to purchase the latest appliances, automobiles, and fashion trends. Suburban expansion became a symbol of success as countless families moved into newly built homes, transforming the American landscape. Department stores and burgeoning advertising campaigns played pivotal roles in shaping desires and lifestyles, fostering a culture of abundance and aspiration. Yet, beneath the surface of economic triumph lay underlying tensions. The decade was also a time of conformity and rigid social norms, particularly regarding family structure and gender roles. Women were often encouraged to embrace their roles as homemakers, even as the seeds of future feminist movements began to sprout. This duality highlights a society grappling with its identity, celebrating progress while simultaneously restraining change. Education and technology were other arenas of significant advancement. The establishment of the interstate highway system revolutionized travel and commerce, while television emerged as the dominant medium, transforming entertainment and information dissemination. Schools became battlegrounds for educational reform, aiming to prepare a generation for the challenges of a rapidly changing world. These developments not only shaped daily life, but also set the stage for the societal shifts that would follow in subsequent decades. Cultural icons of the 1950s, musicians, actors, and authors, left an indelible mark on the collective consciousness. Rock and roll music, epitomized by figures like Elvis Presley, ignited a youth culture that challenged existing norms and expressed a newfound desire for freedom and self-expression. Literature and cinema began to reflect more diverse and complex narratives, subtly questioning the status quo and hinting at the transformative movements on the horizon. As we peel back the layers of the 1950s, we uncover a tapestry of progress interwoven with resistance and aspiration. This era was not merely a precursor to the tumultuous changes of the 1960s and beyond, but a foundational period that embodied both the promise and the contradictions of modern America. By understanding the multifaceted experiences of those who lived it, we gain valuable insights into the enduring legacy of the 1950s and its influence on today's society. However, to truly grasp the essence of the 1950s, we must delve deeper into the societal undercurrents that subtly but significantly influenced the decade's trajectory. One cannot overlook the pervasive tension of the Cold War, which cast a long shadow over everyday life. The fear of communism permeated the American psyche, leading to widespread paranoia, exemplified by the McCarthy era. House Un-American Activities Committee hearings and the infamous blacklists created an atmosphere of suspicion, where loyalty was constantly scrutinized. This period of anti-communist fervor not only curtailed personal freedoms, but also stifled intellectual and artistic expression, as conformity was enforced under the guise of national security. Amidst this climate of fear, the seeds of the civil rights movement began to take root. While the 1950s are often remembered for the Brown v. Board of Education decision and the Montgomery bus boycott, these were just the beginning of a decade-long struggle for racial equality. African Americans and other marginalized groups began to challenge systemic injustices more openly, laying the groundwork for the transformative changes that would explode in the 1960s. The courage and resilience displayed during this time highlighted a growing awareness and rejection of entrenched social inequalities, signaling an inevitable push towards a more inclusive society. Economic prosperity also had its complexities. The consumer boom, while bringing unprecedented material wealth, masked the disparities that existed beneath the surface. Suburbanization, though a sign of success for many, often excluded minorities through practices like redlining and discriminatory lending. This created stark divides between races and classes, fostering environments where systemic racism and economic inequality could thrive unchallenged. The glossy veneer of the American dream of the 1950s thus concealed significant societal fractures that would later demand attention and resolution. In the realm of technology and innovation, the decade was a crucible for breakthroughs that would shape the future. The space race, ignited by the Soviet Union's launch of Sputnik, spurred significant advancements in science and education. This competition not only accelerated technological progress, but also fostered a sense of national pride and urgency. The establishment of NASA and increased funding for STEM education underscored the critical role of innovation in maintaining global supremacy. These initiatives not only propelled America into the modern age, but also inspired generations to pursue careers in science and technology, setting the stage for future advancements. As cultural boundaries were pushed by emerging artists and rebellious youth, the 1950s became a melting pot of old and new ideologies. The clash between traditional values and the burgeoning counterculture created a dynamic tension that fueled both creative expression and social change. Icons like James Dean and Marilyn Monroe embodied the tensions of their time, representing both the allure and the pitfalls of fame and modernity. Their influence extended beyond entertainment, shaping fashion, behavior, and the very fabric of American identity. In examining these deeper layers, the 1950s reveal a decade of profound complexities and contradictions. It was a time of outward stability and growth, yet inwardly rife with challenges and the impetus for change. The interplay between progress and resistance during this period forged the path for the dramatic transformations that would follow, making the 1950s not just a bridge between war and peace, but a pivotal chapter in the ongoing narrative of American evolution. Building upon these foundational shifts, the 1950s also witnessed significant changes in family dynamics and gender roles. The ideal of the nuclear family was heavily promoted, emphasizing the role of men as breadwinners and women as homemakers. However, beneath this surface, many women sought greater autonomy and fulfillment beyond domestic duties, laying the groundwork for the feminist movements of the subsequent decades. The rise of television as a dominant medium also began to reshape family interactions and societal norms, providing both a reflection and an influence on the evolving cultural landscape. Education experienced a transformation driven by the Cold War's emphasis on technological superiority. The establishment of programs like the National Defense Education Act aimed to produce a skilled workforce capable of competing on the global stage. This focus not only improved educational standards, but also contributed to the widening gap between different socioeconomic groups, as access to quality education became increasingly tied to economic status. The investment in education and research during this era set the stage for future scientific achievements and economic growth, yet it also highlighted existing inequalities that needed to be addressed. Internationally, the United States solidified its role as a global superpower, navigating complex geopolitical tensions and forging strategic alliances. The establishment of the NATO alliance and involvement in various international conflicts underscored America's commitment to containing communism and promoting democratic values worldwide. This international stance not only influenced global politics, but also affected domestic policies and public perception, intertwining foreign and internal affairs in ways that would have lasting implications. As the decade drew to a close, the cumulative impact of these societal, economic, and cultural forces created a powerful momentum for change. The 1950s, often perceived as a period of conformity and prosperity, were in reality a crucible of transformation. The tensions and contradictions of the era fomented a spirit of questioning and resistance that would explode into full force in the 1960s and beyond. The groundwork laid in areas such as civil rights, gender equality, technological innovation, and cultural expression ensured that the 1950s were not merely a bygone era of stability, but a pivotal chapter that propelled America into a future of dynamic progress and enduring challenges. In summary, the 1950s were characterized by a complex interplay of stability and upheaval. While economic growth and technological advancements showcased America's potential, underlying social tensions and emerging movements highlighted the need for profound change. Understanding these critical aspects reveals the decade's true significance as a foundation for the transformative decades that followed. The 1950s, with all their complexities and contradictions, remain a testament to the resilience and evolving identity of American society, illustrating how periods of apparent calm can conceal the seeds of monumental transformation.